Hi, friends. So let's talk about submitting your work for publication. There's a lot I've learned over the years, some of it the hard way. And if you're just starting to send your poems out into the world, I want to help you skip a few of the rookie mistakes that I made. Like not fully understanding revision, not tracking anything, and yeah, accidentally getting a poem published into two places at once and not telling them. We're going to get into all of that plus a few things I wish someone had told me straight up when I was first starting out. So let's go. Okay, first up, and this one is big. I wish I had understood how important a revision really is before submitting. Like, I just didn't know how to revise. I thought revision meant correcting a typo, maybe tweaking a line here or there if something fell off, but I didn't understand the deeper work. Figuring out what the poem is really trying to say, how the form supports the emotion, and how the voice and imagery and pacing all need to be in conversation. I didn't know what made a good poem, so I didn't really know how to improve one either. And because of that, I wasn't doing the kind of revision that could have made those early poems stronger. Now that I read submissions every week as a reader for LitMag, I can tell you this is one of the main reasons I end up saying no to a piece. It's not that the idea or feeling isn't there, it's just that the poem isn't quite ready yet. Stuff that could have been tightened with more revision. So before you send that piece out, ask yourself, are my line breaks intentional? Is the tone consistent? Does the poem actually say what I mean it to say? And if you're still not sure, that's okay. Give it time. Come back with fresh eyes. Your work deserves that kind of care. And honestly, so does the reader on the other end. So let's get into the next thing. Number two. The next thing I wish I knew was that you can get paid for your poetry. When I was first starting out, I thought I had to earn my way into those paid opportunities, as if I needed more publications or awards or something. But that's just not true. If your work is polished and strong, there are journals that will pay you, even if it's your first publication. So don't count yourself out. As a matter of fact, just this week during Revision Roundtable, one of our participants let us know that a poem they had revised during our sessions was accepted for publication, their first paid publication. Hello. So excited for them, so proud of them. I just want to let you know you can do it. You can get paid for it. So the main thing for that is looking out for journals that actually pay. You can use filters on Submittable. You can check out my favorite site, which is Chill Subs, to find them. Don't be afraid to shoot your shot. When you're on something like Chill Subs, I love Chill Subs because you can filter it down by open submissions, places that pay, that don't accept a fee, and poetry. And then I also like to check for simultaneous submissions. We'll get into that a little bit more later. But yeah, you can tailor this and you can find the things that you need when you are ready to submit your work. So number three, this one was a game changer. It's tracking your submissions, okay? I know it sounds a little boring, but trust me, it will save you so much chaos later. When you're sending your poems out, you need to know what poem you sent, where you sent it, when you sent it, and whether they allow simultaneous submissions so that you know whether or not you can send that poem elsewhere or if it has to, only be submitted to this place until they say yes or no. And then if there's a reading period or notification date, that way you know about how long it might take for you to get a response. Because if you send that same poem out to 5 places and one accepts, guess what? Now you need to go withdraw it from the other 4. And if you haven't kept track, yeah, that's a mess waiting to happen. Number 4, withdrawing when accepted. Okay, so story time. Once, early on, baby Talisha had a poem accepted at 2 places at the same time, and I didn't know that I was supposed to withdraw it from the others, so I didn't. I mean, common sense, but common sense isn't common to everybody, okay? And both places published it. Awkward. A stain, a blight. The good news for me is that one of the publications Good news for me, bad news for the publication, but they're no longer online. So, whew, but editors really, really, really don't like it, and understandably so, if you don't let them know. So, most literary magazines and journals want first publication rights, which means they don't want work that has already been out in the world. That includes your social media, like your Facebook posts, your Instagram posts. My workaround for that, if I want to share something that I'm particularly excited about, I share the first draft in my Instagram stories because they're only up for 24 hours. And then also, it's the first draft. This is not what publishers are going to ultimately see because I'm going to revise the heck out of it by the time they get it. It's not going to read the same. So that is my workaround for that. Just make sure, and that includes places that you should not like put your poem. It also includes your blog or your website, right? Anything online where somebody could come across this poem, that's no longer first publication rights, okay? So if your poem gets picked up somewhere, please celebrate it. That is such a great feeling and deserves that celebration. But then I need you to go into Submittable or do your email. Wherever you submit it, I need you to go ahead, follow up there, politely withdraw it from anywhere that is still under consideration. And that's it. It's just a simple note. I often just say, hey, I'm letting you know that this poem, and I put the poem's title, has been picked up for publication elsewhere. And I let them know the other poems in the packet are still open for consideration if they're interested. Okay. And a lot of editors appreciate this heads up. And then I want to share some bonus tips for you all. A few more things that I wish I'd known. And if I'm looking down, it's because I'm reading my notes, friends, because I want to make sure I don't miss anything. But I want you to know you don't need a fancy cover letter. Just say hello, list the poems you're submitting, and thank them for their time. Make sure you note whether or not this is a simultaneous submission. And then a lot of times you'll include your bio in that same area where the cover letter is. Yeah, super simple. A lot of times they're not reading the cover letter until after they've decided whether or not they're going to go with your poem. Rejections aren't personal is number 2. Even editors get rejected. It's part of the game. I like to say that rejection is a part of the work of getting your work published, okay? Like, it's just a part of the process. Everybody gets those no's. So do not feel singled out. Do not feel like only I am getting rejected. And I know it can feel overwhelming when you're seeing other people say, hey, I got published here. Hey, somebody's paying me for my poem over there. And you're like, nobody's taking my work yet. Don't worry. There will be lots of no's. I get them all the time. And I've also been paid a good amount of money for poems. It's a balance game, okay? The third thing that I wish I would have known is read the journal first and make sure your work fits what they publish. Now, okay, I added this one. It's more of a do as I say, not as I do. Because I don't read the journal first. For all of them. Some of them, yes, but I haven't read all of the ones that I've submitted to. I'm not gonna lie, friends. But if you do that, that's just to help you make sure that your work fits, so that you're sending what they need. You don't want to send an essay to a place that only publishes poetry, and you don't want to send a poem to a place that only publishes essays, right? You want to make sure it fits in that way. But for me personally, the thing that I pay attention to when it comes to something like this is, does this publication align with my values? For instance, I am someone who is pro-Palestine. And so if there has been any instance where this publication has made it clear they are not pro-Palestine, they censor poets who are, that's not my vibe. And so I'm just going to pass on that, right? So just figure out what feels good for you. But the rule of thumb is to just see, are they publishing work that is in common with yours, in conversation with it? Like, will your work fit in or will it be sticking out? And now to that, I also say there's nothing wrong with it sticking out a little bit. You never know. They might be like, hey, this is different. Let's add it. So just shoot your shot, friends. That's the main thing there. And then the last thing is submitting is fine. Submit that poem. If you're sit down one day and there's 5 places you want to send your poem to, send it to those 5 places. That's fine. You don't have to go one at a time. As a matter of fact, I like to send out my pieces to at least 5 to 8 places because you're going to get those no's. It is inevitable. But it makes those rejections way softer when you get a no and you're like, well, it's out at like 6 other places. So this one no is like, meh, right? It just helps. It just helps. But you don't want to overwhelm yourself. Don't send a single poem to like 30 places at once. Because again, circling back to like withdrawing your piece, if you do that, then if someone says, yes, we want to take this piece, you now have to go like withdraw it from 29 places, right? That's too much. A doable amount for me has been 5 to 8 places. And I usually get a handful of no's on a piece before I get that yes. So then I only have a few places that I have to withdraw it from. So that's how you can balance things out. I just want to say, if you want a little extra support with submissions, whether it's accountability, finding places to submit, or just have someone in the room who can answer your questions, I host something called Pub Party. It happens on the last day of every month at 4 p.m. Eastern on Zoom. Super chill for free. Hello. You can come work on your submissions, ask questions, and just vibe with other writers who are doing the same dang thing. All you have to do is head to TalishaJPoetry.com and sign up. And once you're on the list, you'll get monthly reminders via Zoom. You'll get monthly reminders and the Zoom link straight to your inbox. So yeah, those are some of the things I wish I knew before submitting to Lit Mags. I've learned a lot over the years and I'm still learning, okay? But I hope this helps you feel a little more prepared and a little less alone. If you've made some of these mistakes too, no shame. Truly, we've all been there. Let me know in the comments what questions you have or what lessons you've learned from submitting. And if this was helpful, please go ahead and like the video, share it with your poet friends, and subscribe for more weekly videos about writing, revision, poetry life, all that jazz. I'll be back here again, same time next week. Bye.